I'm going.
We'll order this meeting on Thursday, August 15th, 2024. The mission is to engage each and every student in opportunities to learn, lead, and grow. And the vision statement: every student graduates prepared for success. Use the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We take roll call here.
Rockholz.
Here.
Coons.
Here.
Alaska.
Here.
Wolf, Brown, and Bree Henning, student representative, are absent.
Perfect, thank you. Let's see here, no visitors or press, we can move on to celebrations of achievement.
No, July, we don't have a lot going on. We've got a new principal that we're bringing in, new to the district, and today was day one of all new teachers.
Yep.
That Josh and I in the administration welcomed and then spent some time with this morning, and then they got to be with in their buildings with the instructional coaches. Today. So
How many teachers?
11.
Left.
Well, 10 new teachers and we have a new nurse, so 11 total new
Gotcha.
certified staff.
We've got unpack the bag nights, back to school stuff all next week.
Wednesday night
elementary has their popsicle
with principals tonight.
tonight.
Yep.
So
Yep.
like you'll be busy down there.
Awesome. Moving on here, district reports. First one is focus on learning district assessment now. Josh.
Is that me?
Both of us, so.
Okay. We didn't really.
I know in our last meeting, we talked a little bit about data, we talked about work session, things like that. And, following it, Josh and I, we went back to our district assessment map, and so we've got, buildings. You gonna pop that up? Do you have it?
Yeah, hold on, let me.
Basically, all the assessments, academic type assessments that we give our kids, whether it's a benchmark assessment, the ISASS, MAP testing, FAST testing, we have that mapped out to grade level, to what time of year. MAP is like, 3 times a year, so it's always got a district map. Just going to, at our admin meeting that we had, last Tuesday, we talked about the next step on that map will be to, so as you can see, for instance, the benchmark reading, third one down is K3, and it's in September, it's in December, and it's again in May. The next step will be that we've discussed is now we've got to identify when it's going to be analyzed, and then the other step was when do we report out? So I know that's something the board wants more of throughout the year, not just at the end of the year, and so that will be part of our map, and I know that's going to be a discussion that before we dive into it, we'll get more conversation from our strategic planning committee and Cassie when we meet at the end of the month, as far as kind of mapping that out as far as this is when we give all the assessments. And I know we do analyze those at the buildings. Then we can go when and how often as far as those pieces of data reporting.
How quick do you think upon an assessment you get that data and kind of ready to present? Like, how quick do we get, like 2-3 weeks, a month?
Yeah, no, I bet.
So like map assessment is almost immediately. I think it's like within like 24 hours later because it processes it. ISASP is always, they're getting a little bit better because I was shocked this summer that we got the final results in July, and then we were able to send out to families. And so, yeah.
If you look at like the benchmark data that we give pretty consistently K5, they'll give like in the fall, and then they already have on their calendar scheduled on a Thursday data walk where they take that data and the teams look at it. They look to see, they reorganize groups, they, target things, end of the year data. I know that's part of principles and that's something we can talk about too with you as far as.
Reading records is your progress monitoring?
That's, yes, that's progress, not that ongoing.
Yeah, because that's the real time.
Yeah,
That's the real time data
Correct,
that's happening.
And only for those students that need it.
we kind of use benchmark more as, it's used as a little bit like at the middle school as like fast. a
Screener.
But then we use it mostly K-5 as more of a diagnostic as far as where they're falling short at. And then
Everyone takes both fast and benchmark?
K3,
K3.
K3, they do. Fast is only required in K3. In the state, so 4 or 5 does benchmark it.
Just the benchmark.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's just kind of a preview to the, conversations with the strategic planning group, and then we can bring that back to the whole board and kind of map out what, and we figured focus on learning would be a great spot just to a piece of data. Each time, and we can target kind of what we want to look at. I know the principals did a great job with their teams at the end of the year. We just met individually with each one for about 90 minutes to start the year as we ended last year, just to go back over their individual plan on the page where their goals and priorities are pretty driven by what we saw last spring. For instance, here's an example, looking at the Lakeview data, after analyzing the data, what Lakeview came to the conclusion was that one of the pieces that attributed that data was we needed to ramp up more decodable text in kindergarten. And so that team, put a plan together, following the instructional coaches and the kindergarten teachers, playing together as far as filling that deficit. And you guys, the board approved late last spring, early summer, 50, 52, 53.
It actually totaled, I think, $60,000 in additional decodals.
Text to plug those classrooms. And so now a lot of their early professional development that they'll have on Monday and to start the year is how do we infuse that into the instructional day and into our 90-minute block as a piece to close that deficit, that gap. So.
Any other questions? No, thanks for the update. Yeah, good to see that as a kind of close to the school year. Number 2, admin reports. We got August staff calendar.
I can talk about that. Yeah, well, I should have it memorized by now. So yeah, today and tomorrow, we've got new teacher orientation, had everybody in today, and they're doing various fire hose projects, because when you're a new teacher, everything is a fire hose. So trying not to overwhelm them too much, giving them some content and giving them a break to maybe go back to the room, work a little bit and get reoriented and maybe think about some of the things that they learned, and then hit again with some more instructional practices, learning. A lot of it is management and getting used to and understanding the procedures in the building and helping them understand the supports that they have in place. Then Monday is a teacher quality day, which is an optional day for teachers. If they so choose, it's not part of their contract, but last year we had a pretty good showing. I'd say between 95 and 100% of our staff showed up for the whole day. Each building has a design that day specifically around their building goals. High school is doing a lot of activities with ICAP. Lakeview's doing work around their literacy work and math work. Middle school is doing a bunch of standards work, and then we're really digging into the grade book and in the afternoon, and exploring how can we use the standards-based grading side of the grade book that will align to our practices. And then intermediate is doing their strategy group professional development, along with I think some additional math pieces. Tuesday will be everyone back full day, or their first day back. The welcome back will meet everyone in the CFA lobby up at the high school. Hills Bank is going to provide us breakfast. They do a really great job in supporting our school district. And then SCF will, Solon Education Foundation is going to do a little presentation about the grant program that they have for teachers. We'll also have Covenant Family Solutions, our representative from there, to really promote that employee assistance program for our teachers, and really try to encourage our teachers to use that. It's a valuable resource. And then they'll launch into their, go back to their building meetings. And then that day is just a lot of meetings and reconnecting. Associates will join us that day for a full day and get reacclimated. Wednesday will be a little bit busier with a couple of things. We're doing seizure training in the morning across the district. We've originally, I think we had middle school participate, and then high school. We got some good feedback around that. For that health and safety reason. We do have students in our district who have seizure disorders, and I think that staff appreciate knowing and understanding the signs and symptoms of what's happening, and then how do you respond. Then we have, and then there'll be some additional time in classrooms for teachers to do some work and some other meetings and professional development. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Lakeview is working on math workshop. We have Jennifer Limp, an outside expert. We had actually brought her in a couple of years ago to kind of launch this idea to support our teachers. And so this time around, we're actually bringing her to us, because last time it was during the pandemic. So we got to see her smiling face on screen, but that was about it. Good content, but and we're going to kind of build a little bit longer term relationship with her this year, instead of just a one event to sit and get. It'll be ongoing support throughout the year for our coaches and principal, and as well as our teachers ongoing. So we're really excited about that. Holly is really excited, because it'll really get us launched into that work and see it implemented. And then throughout next week, we've got this is probably the first year I've been trying to reorganize. We've got like little PDs and online trainings. So Monday we've got text help for our special ed teachers to access Google Read Write, UPAR, and Co-Writer, all assistive technology pieces to support our special ed students. We have Dreambox professional development for our second and third grade teachers to dig into that, because this will be the first time that we're expanding that across those grade levels. No, just 2 through 5 right now. Yep. And then let's see what Wednesday, 6/12 last spring, Sean and I worked with a pilot group to pilot Go Guardian to help. And basically this is a system that helps teachers not only monitor students, but to ensure students are engaged in what they need to be engaged in. It kind of helps manage the websites. So they open up a session and the teachers say, you can only be on this website, to curb that desire by students to look at other websites on the side while teachers are teaching. So the pilot group that piloted it last year, they were pleased with the results from that. And it's not just monitoring kids online. There's a lot of different really neat tools that support teaching and instruction. And
You get access to Pear Deck.
we did not before. Grant Wood, Grant Wood had paid for that for us, and because of all the changes that went away, so we did have access to it. And Go Guardian does own Pear Deck. So but I took a survey of teachers to kind of get a feel for how many actually are using Pear Deck, and not many were using it. So I just said, well, let's take a break from that for a while, not spend a whole lot of money on that. And then, yeah, so that's middle school and high school on Wednesday, doing some orientation around that. Sean's done a really nice job of getting that set up, and we're gonna connect back with that pilot group and let them know kind of, because we're gonna rely on them to provide additional support kind of internally for our staff. And then Thursday afternoon, we have NWEA for SIS, because I want to start digging deeper into some of the reports. So we have a consultant who's going to join us virtually to give them some additional support and how you dig into those reports. What does that look? That's map testing. Yep. As a part of our plan to see how we can boost some of those scores and really dig and make some better decisions around that. So next week's going to be really, really busy. We've got a lot going on, but a lot of really good stuff. So at the end of that week, when we get back together as an admin team the following week, we'll probably spend quite a bit of time kind of reflecting and reviewing how did it go and what changes do we need to make. So yeah, busy week. I'm excited to get the year started, but yeah, lots going on right now.
Any support you need from the board? To welcome teachers back or do anything of that nature?
No, always
Yeah.
welcome though. The invitation, on that morning
Tuesday,
breakfast,
right?
Tuesday morning.
That's something I can.
If you wanted to pop in, we could certainly start the session by giving you the floor to say a few things. Yeah.
I'm off next week.
Yeah, I've got Monday or Tuesday morning, I'm actually gonna be in town.
Both of you can come.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it'd be good.
Yeah.
It would be
Just
good.
shoot us a message or email, let us know what time, and then
Yeah.
we can come say, thank you.
Yeah.
7:45 is breakfast.
7:45.
Launch around 8:15.
8:15
Yeah.
launch.
Yep.
Next, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
just-
we're coming around 8.
Yeah, that'd be great.
yeah,
Casual.
yeah.
All right.
Just one last part of the admin report. I know we're gonna go to a closed session and just kind of walk through the district's emergency crisis plan. Just kind of a preview before the closed session. Safety's been really, it's ongoing. And you're, well aware, as far as the safety grant that we received. Cameras, that project is done. We have a lot of cameras in many areas that we didn't have before.
And they are fantastic.
Clarity.
Holy
I
cow.
kind of noticed them once they popped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll have to, maybe that's something that we can do.
Mhm.
And just bring our cameras up so that you can just see
Yeah.
the clarity in the different places and.
Yeah.
And things like that, so, they've got the film, in, some of the glass, within SIS is completed, and now we're beginning the fob system. And I believe they're starting with SIS with the fob system, so just updating and replacing that fob system so that we have more control on that and, over that. Know that also with safety, we had the end of the year district-wide training, the emergency medicine team from the U of I provided hands-on CPR hands only, stop the bleed, choking, and Narcan. We've sat with the Johnson County Sheriff's Department personnel several times as far as going through our plan, talking about what might bolster it, what might be a better avenue to go in specific areas. Talked about not only evacuation, but reunification. Taking some of the after action review from Perry and how some things that maybe we didn't think of that we need to make sure that we're prepared for as far as aftermath. Also, Amy is kind of leading we've got emergency backpacks in every classroom, restocking those. I know the emergency medicine team from
Yeah, they gave us,
Iowa gave us some ideas on what needs to be in.
so we're creating stop the bleed kits in every one of those backpacks. We also have the really nice kits is that from Johnson County
Yeah,
or?
yep.
We got about 16 like really nicely packed and like high-end stop the bleed kits that we'll put in different locations around the district. Like with our AEDs and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes.
We got brand new ones last year. We have a brand new one in the CFA lobby. We have a brand new one We put another brand new one in the high school, I think up by the exercise equipment where the community uses that. And then we have there's a third one, I think it's downstairs by the entry at the high school. We always have a portable one that we put out there. So, yeah, one of my tasks this year is to find some other grants, like maybe tapping into like a Solon Foundation grant, and a Beef Days grant was suggested to me to purchase some additional new ones. We've replaced our the oldest ones that we had with the brand new ones. Then we've got a couple others that are approaching probably around that 7 to 10 year mark, which they're still okay, but we know we need to replace those.
6 months or?
Amy goes through.
Yeah, Amy goes through, and with the brand new ones, where there's an online system that keeps track of all that, so we don't have to keep paper, pencil or anything like, manually that way anymore. But that would be the goal, is because those connect directly to our Wi-Fi, so we can log into those.
I'm just thinking of that.
Yeah, need to know.
That's a good question.
Yeah, well, definitely. We have one, be nice
Just
to go
game,
location too.
Game will cover it.
Well, because we've talked a lot about like where would we put that, because we put a box like we have in other places. Maybe.
Well, no,
Well, I'll talk to Amy. Amy will be around tomorrow. So that's a great question. Yep. Mhm. Cause I know we typically with the outdoor, like the field, like the baseball field, the football field. Yeah, no. They have the one in the bag, the portable one. So we actually, when we purchased these last year, we bought 2 brand new ones. We got a brand new trainer with it, so we can use it with students and other training opportunities. Yeah, and then we have another one, an older one that we're gonna put down in the new bus barn too. And then all the other schools have at least one AED. But again, those are aging, and so I need to look at some other sources to purchase some new ones.
Portable ones for football.
Yeah.
Soccer field,
Mhm.
one for baseball / softball. Or maybe one for each, just in those seasons,
Mhm.
that's. It's for kids that are down there. Here by a guy passed out at baseball game,
Mhm.
And we should look into maybe even with the city too, as far as down there, yes, I know you can get permanent boxes.
Yeah,
With a keypad.
yes,
Or you can call 911.
right, because they have that really nice one uptown here that does all that.
Yeah.
And then then the other, I think we talked about this last meeting, was the Adam Project, becoming a heart health or heart safe school district where we become certified. There's a few little perks that come with that, but we're going to take this year, go through, it's a pretty lengthy checklist of things, but I'm going to pull together a team that we can start to go through that, which will include the nurses and maybe some others who are interested in that. But what comes with that is we have to actually practice drills. If someone were to collapse, what do you do? And then I think team members or a team member from the University of Iowa, as part of this project, will come and observe as part of this to watch us and give us feedback on how we respond. So, yeah, got some good things going with that.
Moving on, board committee update.
I think David's kind of mentioned, strategic team. Dan and I got together and, just were intrigued by the data and want to dig more into the data and understand all of the programs that you just mentioned that we're getting PD on. And understanding from the learning and assessment perspective, how that's matriculating into, academic progress in our students. So, if Dan can make it, hopefully, the 30th is.
What time you guys thinking ish? Can you go earlier? Maybe 7. Might be able to do 7.
You can do 7
Yeah,
Yeah.
what you mean?
I'll double check.
on the 30th.
Yeah, August 30th, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
give enough time for Josh to
Pull some stuff.
gather some data.
Dave and I'll sit down and go through. Pat has already pulled a bunch of data or budget reports. So we can take a look and just go back and review where we are, so.
Yeah.
I've got nothing from buildings and. Just the one we'll talk about here is first reading on one board policies, so. No, we can move on to consent agenda items. We can get a while.
I have to tell you a funny story, in just, in about 30 seconds. We were at the mall. And there was this old white van driving around, but you could still see the orange.
Oh, the old soul.
It was an old Solon van.
Did it kind of backed up?
Yeah. My wife and I just.
Good to see it's being recycled.
It's good to know. Okay.
Just nobody call us if there's an issue.
We need another truck.
This, yes, we've
Yes.
got- yeah, so we bought a new maintenance truck. And, getting stuff transferred into that truck. And then, buildings and grounds, we're currently using 2 salvage title Ford Rangers. And, after a thorough assessment, well, we've known this for about a year and a half now. After our mechanic did a thorough assessment on it, he recommended we never take those out of town. That the frame could collapse, you know, at any time, so this will be a nice long
Didn't we
term
just purchase
solution.
a truck?
A maintenance one.
Is this another one?
This is a grounds one.
Oh.
So the maintenance truck has the toolboxes and everything that
Yeah.
Kevin needs just to be able to pull up to any site, have everything with him. Currently he drives that green one.
Yeah,
That's not supposed to leave town either, of course, it's with the frame, or at least he said, don't pull anything with it, don't hook a trailer up with it to it, because it might pull it apart, so.
Yeah, we definitely. need to-
Yeah. So this one will be for, Brian and just the maintenance team too. Whether we need to pull trailers, mowers, put stuff in the back. If there's ever a time that, you know, we need to pull, one of our archery or band or some trailers, we've got a vehicle that's gonna be safe and have the motor and the suspension to pull the trailer. So.
well, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda items as proposed.
Second.
Kathy, second by Dan, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, none, motion carries. Action items, so action item number 1, priorities for the 2024-2025 school year. So these are the ones that.
These are the ones that,
Do we
these
have to
are,
narrow it down any further? or-
no, these are the ones I'm gonna submit because, yep. Yep.
Right, so the ones that we have listed are mental health, local accountability, decision making, school safety, student achievement.
Anything to call out on those? That we added that,
It's kind of interesting because, you know, we've been at this for, it's been a couple of years, we've been on the board, we've been on, it's kind of the same old, you know what I mean, like it's repetitive, but it's what affects us, like, you
Yeah.
know, mental health is a big deal.
School safety,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, with.
And again, local accountability, we've always said that our district runs different than any district around the area, we're all
Yeah.
unique.
Put it on.
So, no, those look really good.
Mhm.
You guys good with it, well,
I'm assuming I'm still the delegate unless anybody else wants to volunteer.
I think that's correct.
I love
I don't
it,
know.
so
As I go.
You're
don't mind it. Happy to be.
you've been great, so yeah.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Why take someone's skill set away?
great.
Yeah, like 2 weeks prior, I'm going to a conference called Excel in Ed. Excel in Ed is a organization run by former Governor Jeb Bush, educational policy, so it'll be really good.
Yes. Motion to approve, so, just put it all together. approve that one.
Legislative priorities, yeah.
Motion to approve legislative priorities for the 24-25 school year.
Second.
Motion by Coon, second by Folds, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, none, motion carries.
Mhm.
I put, there you go. You can- you can-
Oh, got it. I'm with you. I'm with you.
We're gonna go number 2, action item. This will be first reading of board policy 804.5, E1 and 507.2.
And actually, I think it's just 804.5. So if you recall, last year around this time, we were talking about the prescription medication supply. And specifically, it was brought up due to regarding Narcan and the opioid antigen regarding that. And there were some conversations. There were a few more we had kind of put up there, and we kind of pulled them off. After the spring professional development with the University of Iowa team and the emergency management team, all staff who attended were trained in how to use Narcan. And so I thought it might be a good time to bring this back up to have more conversation. This board policy comes straight from ISB. I did redact the EpiPen, the allergic, the prescription for epinephrine injectors and bronchodilators. I know there was some conversation about whether we wanted to continue to put those on there. I did speak with one of the doctors who attended and kind of led our group last spring. I just asked him his opinion on, when we, obviously he said Narcan is like, it's basically over the counter. If you go into a pharmacy, they'll just give it to you and it's, you have it. It doesn't do anything to you. If you could take it even without having an issue and you'd be just fine. He said, I think he said he was a part of a team at the University of Iowa that studies anaphylaxis or responds to anaphylactic shock. And he said, Josh, it's such a low percentage across the country that anyone would have anaphylaxis. You can have the EpiPen, but he said, but then you've got to supply that every year. You've got to renew the prescription, replace the EpiPen. Same thing with the bronchodilator, and those are all actually prescription based. And the kids in our district who have those issues have prescription bronchodilators as well as any EpiPens. We've got kids with severe allergies, and we hold their prescription EpiPens in our nurses' offices. So I'm going to look at this, basically just pulled out all those pieces and just left in the Narcan.
Did you run this by the nurses?
Yeah, Amy and I have talked extensively on multiple occasions that she just continues to have concerns about getting a prescription for something, having that, and then in the case that she would administer it, she basically said she probably wouldn't even administer it because she'd call 911 right away if there truly was an issue and have them respond and then them do that. I think just from her perspective, and especially our new nurse, not feeling responsible to administer something that requires a prescription that, depending on the dose, it's not going to kill anybody, but at the same time, and that's what the doctor told me too. It's not going to kill you, but there are some potential side effects to doing something like that. But,
Yeah. I think it's the nurses and that's probably the nurses' whole thing.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Most, you're right, most kids that have them.
Yeah. They have that prescription.
Right.
Yeah, because we were just thinking about cost of replacing every year. That could be up to $1,000 a year across the district because every building would have one, right? So, yeah.
A motion to approve. 4.5.
Yep. Well, no, we have got 507 there. Oh yeah, I can talk. We need to talk about 507 and 2.
Any
Yeah.
changes?
The only thing would just, when we looked at the ISB, it had some updates to it. And it references this policy 804.5. So then not a whole, I mean, just a couple of additions, that's about it.
Wordsmith and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's referring to it.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm. Yeah. Okay.
The one to approve the
First
first reading of board policy 4.5 and 507.
Actually, Josh, will you refresh your screen?
Okay, do it again.
Thank you.
It wasn't E1.
Okay.
She had E1 on that. It's actually not, it's just 804.5.
Just if you want. And mine.
There is an E1, but I didn't want to put that one on here.
Perfect.
Motion to approve the first reading of board policy 804.5 and policy 507.
Second.
Motion by Coon, second by Robles, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carries. Number 3 on action item is the approval of the 2024-2025 fundraisers.
Yeah, so I would like to table this, if you're okay with it in September. I sent you already, to kind of show you, that is the sheet. They've got a Google survey form that dumps all that into a sheet like that. You can see we've got a number of them, but I spoke with Casey this morning and he said, we still don't have PTO. And he believes we're still missing a few that annually do something, but haven't put that in yet. And he's got a coaches meeting coming up where he can really hammer it. That's it. You gotta get this in.
He's over and get
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know, so we want to put a motion on it for anyway.
Motion to, yeah, to move the fundraiser 2025 till next month.
Motion by Coon,
Second.
second by Robles, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none?
And can we just, we may do that in September, just because I'm involved in football and there was some issues, just some clarification on what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. So we understand when we get questions in the community.
Yep, yep,
You know what I mean?
yep.
So,
Good point. Information items, you got strategic plan, priorities and goals.
Does that mean for you?
Well, I think we've got it, Josh. We just, again, it's just putting that back out in front of you. We've got, our strategic plan on the wall up here and we've made just a few, the priorities remain the same: academic, wellness, and future ready. That is something that is broad. And then, and you'll see more, especially at the strategic planning committee, at our August meeting. More about as you drill down in that plan, then we get to those individual building plan on pages that directly address that from that age span. So,
Trying to pull up the,
yeah,
here it is. I think this is it.
there's a.
Yeah.
One that's larger, isn't it? So again, staying with the same, 3 areas as our focus. And then each building has priority actions, and they have goals, and they have measures on how we're gonna measure success, so.
Then every building goes down, you said, to a granular level. That we will do this by, so here's our overarching goal. Here's an overarching,
Right, so then
Maybe.
each building has a plan. They have their plan on a page that has very
that
specific
goes up to each of.
Yeah. quantitative goals, a SMART goal, and then they have their priorities under each of these pillars. And then they, yeah, translate that in from this into, okay, here's what.
Do we workshop that at some point? I wanna say we did. and it
Us?
was with the admins, I thought we had a board plus admin group and we walked through some of those plan notes on the page and they
We did.
identified.
They were, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Is this the case?
Yeah. And and that's something that we were gonna talk about, future agenda items, you know, we can map out presenting specific data. It might be, let's talk about concurrent enrollment at Kirkwood, bring us that data. Let's talk about fourth, fifth grade, math map. Let's talk, so breaking down pieces of data, and we also talked about interest, have each principal present their plan on the page as far as this is the data that we looked at. This is this is what we saw. This is what it meant to us, and this is how we are responding, and that would be evident on the plan on the page. And then each building, you get a better idea of what's the priority in that building based upon the data that they looked at, and what steps are they taking to correct it or to improve it.
Well, and I think it's important, I don't want to speak from one word for that, I think it's important for you guys to understand. We all know we have points in time in our careers where we're not going to be, right? Numbers aren't what we expect them to be, and, that, you know, we're just like, all right, how are we gonna make this better? It's not like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
Like, it's a matter of, all right, here's where we've become, how did we get here, how do we get out of here?
Yeah.
And,
And Josh and I kind of reviewed after each of our individual principals meeting, and it's like, gosh, that was a very intense, that was a very dense conversation that we had. It would have been nice to have the board circled around us and just listening to the depth of the actions, the actions that are taking place. First off, the knowledge that, our principals are really diving into data, and they're using their instructional coaches and their teams. Sure, teachers are, help drive and identify where we are, but just the planning that goes into how we're going to address this. And we'll talk about some barriers too. I mean, we're going through some of these actions, like, okay, let's talk about what's going to, what could trip you up this year as you strive towards reaching that goal. And I mean, was it with Polly, or was it with Mel? What it was time, just time. So now let's brainstorm time. How can we overcome that? Where can we get time? Where can we prioritize it? Where can we, whether that's using some of our teacher quality dollars to committing to 3:30 and 4:30 and paying teachers, an hour beyond contract repeatedly to do some of this work.
Sure.
So, it's just being creative and identifying barriers and solutions around those.
well, I think this 30,000 foot view, important, maybe this is the pocket we're focused on. We don't forget all the stuff over here, and we put all our energy into the, which is the balance, right? That's your guys' job, and it's also our job to kind of look at that and reading scores are low, and they don't put all the time in reading scores from all of a sudden, math scores drop. And so that's the real balance of all this. It's gonna be interesting conversation.
Good. All right, we should go and stuff. Closed session.
Okay, so we need a motion, and then I'll do roll call to go into closed session.
The motion to go into closed session, let's say what? Discuss.
Did you say 21.5?
Second.
Motion by Green, second by Leopold.
Roll call, Rock Holtz,
Here.
yes, to go into closed
Yes.
session, yes. Coons,
Yes.
Pleska,
Yes.
6:14. Ready?
Motion to adjourn? Oh, motion to.
That makes it closed session, right?
We exited a closed session, we're back into regular session at 6:38.
6:38. Have we got talking points?
Sure.
Bessie?
I enjoyed the closed session conversation.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm excited to break down some of our school data and, we look at that strategic plan and we work with administration and then bring that information back to the board.
I'm excited for school start.
Mhm.
All 4 of my kiddos are gonna be in the district, so excited teachers are already back and it'll be fun.
What's Kendra gonna do?
So.
That's their
Yes,
New house, you gotta come back to work.
we'll bring her in slowly.
Couple weeks and then you get a long-term sub.
Yeah, exactly.
You're really here too. before we move to-
Yeah, he's into it.
You got that one?
Right?
Yeah.
Next regular board meeting is gonna be Thursday, September 19th. We're at the Central Office Quarter. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move, go ahead,
Motion to adjourn.
second.
My motion by Kathleen, second by Dan, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
6:40, thank you.